Good evening and welcome to Tuesday Night with Brian and John. This is where we
Remember us?
pull out our favorite books and we start reading some of those favorite lines from our favorite books.
It's been a long time, John.
It
Really.
has.
I mean,
It's
we
like
haven't done this for about a month
it's been
now.
about a month. Yeah, we've had just like everything going on, and Howie and the guys were helping out here after the first of the year.
Thank you, Howie. Thank you,
Yeah,
Jimmy.
yeah.
Thank you, Robin. Everybody chimes in and helps.
Yeah, that was a lot of good conversation. I was able to listen to those whilst in the house, and getting the children ready to go. But tonight I wanted to jump on in and talk because we've got some kind of fun things we need to catch up because we haven't done that for quite a while.
Been a while.
So tonight we're going to hit a couple of different topics. We're going to talk about the FYRE Festival. If you guys haven't watched that on Netflix or Hulu, it's on both right now. And this is kind of a big discussion people have been having because it was an entertainment event and we're in the entertainment industry. So we're going to discuss that a little bit tonight. We're going to kind of flash back on some of our impressions from NAMM. And everyone's talked about the gear from NAMM. And we both have got videos out on that. We're not going to discuss that side of it. We're going to give you more of kind of our gut feeling with some of the things that were happening with NAMM, directions, what have you, and then kind of branch out from there and see where our discussion and time takes us tonight. So,
All right.
Yeah. So let's kind of dig into that. I actually saw FYRE coming up on my Netflix thing, but I really didn't jump into it until after you had watched it and you made comment to it on your Facebook page a little bit.
Yeah.
This happened.
I think the comment was, it was a picture of me at NAMM and it said something about, I just watched both FYRE Festival documentaries. Aren't you happy that I'm a kind and just social media influencer? It was a joke.
There were so many cringe-worthy things in this. And if you guys haven't watched it, there's probably going to be spoilers, but I mean, dude, the title says the party that never happened. So I think after that, you pretty much can figure out everything of
Right.
what went on with it. I mean, there's no magic to it. It's just the level of the. Let's talk about the influencer side of it. If you haven't watched
Right.
it, they went and they basically hired social media influencers, and they were actually kind of early in that process because now a lot of companies, and this will kind of reflect back to NAMM. As I was going around NAMM, this is the first year I've heard people talking about, you're a social media influencer. I think I heard that at least a half a dozen different times at NAMM this year, and I've never heard that before.
Right.
And yet,
The one I prefer, and the one who turned me on to it was a couple of years ago. John Krupa from Time Speaker Imports. He said, "You are an opinion leader." I like that better.
That definitely. And that was even so a social media influencer or a YouTube influencer. I was like, okay, I can live with that.
The influencers are more the Instagram models and the
Yeah.
lifestyle. It's more lifestyle people.
And
When we're talking about influencers, it's Kardashians and people like that. Instagram models was kind of their focus on this particular ad campaign. But basically, what it comes down to make a long story short, through both documentaries, if you haven't watched them, this guy had an app. It was an app to book acts, avoiding the agent. You could just go straight to the act and throw a price at them. They'd either accept it or decline it. And it was doing okay, I guess. And somehow he hooked up with Ja Rule, the rapper guy. And he wanted him at a party and he couldn't get him. And this is what kind of inspired him to do the app or something. Anyway, they became friends. And they decided to promote this app, and the artists who were involved with the app, they would have this festival. And this bonehead decided to have it on was it Pablo Escobar's an island in the Bahamas or something?
Yes, that one that he had owned at one time. Yeah.
Right. He told everybody he bought it. He did not. He had leased it. Just like Airbnb basically is all he did with the thing. And he was told through this the person who leased it from the owners that you can do this. We'll give you the island for this fee. However, do not mention that it was Pablo Escobar's island.
Mm-hmm.
So what does this guy do? He hires supermodels, literally supermodels, to come and do a photo shoot on this thing to make this promotional video about this music festival he's going to have. And what does he say? in the ad, the commercial that's all over social media, on Pablo Escobar's private island. And so he violated that right away. And he really never had the money for this stuff. He really never had, he didn't know what he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of fraud and things like that involved here, but the underlying lesson that I got from it was, well, getting in over your head and basically over promising and under delivering is a bad thing.
No, certainly.
Which is what this guy ultimately did. He promised luxury accommodations and well, a show.
Yeah.
He provided neither one of those things. So
yeah, just,
the accommodations nor the acts to perform.
And the price tag that they had for the tickets and these different accommodations, they sold out. That was the part that was just absolutely astonishing to me. Is that we look at
sold out the general admission is what he sold out on, which was supposed to be those little tent cabanas, which turned out to be FEMA tents.
Yeah.
And it rained and it got wet and
made a mess of everything. But yeah, just the number.
It was a huge mess.
The number of tickets and things that they sold was just surprising to me. And then you hear the interviews where they're talking to some of the people who are coming to this, these 20 somethings who have obviously a hell of a lot of disposable income. I'm just going to say here we are sitting here as DJs and we're struggling to figure out, okay, can we, I hear daily they're struggling to, can I charge $500 or are they going to, they're $600 too much, whatever it is. And then you hear these people who are just like, oh, $3,000, sure, there's my ticket to get into this event. And this isn't unusual. There are other big events around the United States and around the world where maybe not to this extravagant or this exclusive, let's put it that way.
Right.
But it exists. And that part just is surprising to me, I guess, is probably, I knew of them and I just didn't realize that people would line up so quickly to.
Well, this show, I remember it happening, but I really didn't pay much attention. And the reason I didn't pay much attention was because the headliner was Blink-182. I mean, that's, not my band.
Mm-hmm.
If the headliner would have been Paul McCartney or the headliner would have been Prince or something like that, of course, he had passed by the time that happened, maybe I'd have been paying attention. But this was just not for my generation to even look at. And, people paying, thousands of dollars to see Blink-182, I couldn't really feel sorry for them when they got robbed.
Yeah.
And it became a big, and I'm not the only one. It became like a joke.
Oh yeah.
It was, and they were even showing it on the documentaries where there were people sitting there on talk shows. They ask what this FYRE Fest was like. Millennials getting robbed of their money. Spending thousands of dollars to go see Blink-182. It's Darwinism. And it kind of felt like it. It's just funny. The millennials are funny anyway to me because they either earth out and do the hipster thing or they aspire to be a Kardashian. It's like one or the other, and they're neither. None of them are either one. It's just a funny generation to me to watch them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate what happened with the whole thing. But really, I mean, the underlying lesson for me, you talk about DJs talking about, how can I charge $500 for my event or whatever. I think the DJ perspective of this wasn't the attendees, it was the show promoters.
Mm-hmm.
It was the people involved in the show. Billy and Ja Rule, they were more like the DJs. They had these big ideas of what they wanted to present or provide. They had this really slick advertising, and they fell very short on the delivery. They charged, even though it was thousands of dollars to get to the event. I think it was like $500 plus airfare, and then you had to have cash while you were there, kind of thing. It wasn't always thousands. Some of the packages that they were selling were in the thousands.
Oh, certainly, yeah.
The cabanas and things like that, in the tens of thousands. Not that anyone bought them, but they were offered. That's kind of more like the DJ thing to me when I think about it. We want to provide all this stuff, and then we're afraid to really do the math in our head and figure out what this is going to cost, and we get in over our heads. Wow. Okay, well, they're not willing to pay this much. but we still provide it, and we end up in the hole.
Mm-hmm.
It's classic mobile DJ crap, really.
Very true. Very, very true. Yeah.
You know,
As they were
I
talking.
hear all these people going to Photo Booth Expo. Now, I'm not hating on anybody who does Photo Booth, but I can't get over $550 for a photo booth anymore. Plus, you know, the media costs something.
Yeah.
And people are buying photo booths for how much? And going to an expo about them?
Yeah.
Wow. Why? I mean, maybe I'm just in a terrible market.
I don't think you are.
But when I was in Los Angeles, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I keep going. Yep, I don't think you are, and we're gonna prove the point here. I think with the Los Angeles.
No, when I was in Los Angeles, a friend of mine, I won't say who he is, but a friend of mine, he does photo booths all the time, and he has them for $295. The guy barely makes $50.
Wow.
On these photo booths. I mean, when all said and done, when you figure gas, advertisement, overhead, media, you know, hiring somebody to do the event, they're not making any money. You know, maybe they get, you know, $400 for some if they upsell, but they're still not making any money.
Mm-hmm.
This is very DJ. This guy could have had a DJ company and it would have been like not a documentary, because this happens all the time.
Yep.
But it's this overpromise, underdeliver thing that's going to kill you every time. I was thinking about this, and if this guy would have said, you know what, we're a grassroots company, we're a young company, what we're going to do is we're going to have a music festival in Milwaukee, because there's the Summerfest grounds there already. There's the infrastructure there. It's not expensive to get here. It's actually pretty easy to get here. We got an airport right down the road, plenty of hotels, plenty of restaurants, and we're going to charge a couple $100 a ticket or whatever. He could have pulled it off.
Oh yeah,
very easily. He really could have pulled it off, and he could have made deals with the artists. Hey, you know, an incentive for being on the app. You know, we'll, you know, little, I don't know what you quote pro kind of. I don't know. He could have worked something out with the artists that were on the app and gave them something, but maybe at a cut rate because they were, you know, a part of the app and it was, you know, good for them. I don't know. He could have done something. Could have been done a lot smarter instead of just throwing money at things and trying to make it look like this exclusive thing with supermodels. You can hang out with supermodels. It actually had people in the ad, like a regular guy hanging out with supermodels and on jet skis. This could be you.
Mm-hmm.
Nope. Could never be you.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Not a chance.
Nope. This guy would have said, look, we're just having this little thing. It's here's the tickets. It's going to be at Summerfest Grounds in Milwaukee. I don't know. You know, I don't know who's going to come. And then you bring like 2 supermodels. That'd have been amazing, because that's under promising and over delivering.
Yeah. And
people who came would be like, oh my God, this is amazing. I can't believe they're here. It's the complete opposite of what he did.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And that was one of the points I wanted to make in this, is that overpromise, underdeliver, and he was basically the epitome of that. I really wonder, as you watch the videos, did he really think that he could pull this off? Is the question I was coming back to, and I was doing some more research after the fact, after watching the documentaries, with some of the people who were talking and have been interviewed since then, and you almost wonder if he actually thought he could pull it off, or if he was just in that point where he had to somehow have that one big thing and he just knew he was on borrowed time, and he knew eventually that this scam fed this scam that fed this scam, because he had a history of cooking numbers and things. If he
ultimately, that's what I think happened. But if I were to guess, and I don't know, but just knowing people and just how shit works, if I had to guess, he didn't know what he was doing, but he thought, you know, it was almost the field of dreams. If we build it, they will come. I almost think that's where he was. Didn't really live in reality about it. Wasn't really listening to people who he should have been listening to. It's almost like he paid way too much attention to Steve Jobs, who just demanded shit. And people told him, no, that's not going to work. But he knew, because Steve Jobs was pretty brilliant in that regard, where this guy wasn't really brilliant. He was just a really good pitch man.
Yeah.
but I think ultimately, I think he thought maybe he could.
Yeah, it's
the ball was rolling. He had enough people believing in him, giving him a lot of money.
I couldn't believe that. Yeah, 27 million that he was given to get that up and running, and as
Yeah.
Howie's mentioned, it was a Ponzi scheme, and it's very reminiscent to in Minnesota. We had Denny Hecker, who had a car dealership. Then he expanded to multiple car dealerships. Then he had to expand, and he was always growing his company, and it became known that as he was growing his company, basically, that the way he was doing the expansion was by every time he would expand, he was basically borrowing more money from people to expand and grow. And always the idea that, oh, now he's worth more, but he was never paying off people like he was supposed to, and kind of created a similar situation. And as when he was describing that, it's like, oh, wow, we've seen that in Minnesota a couple of times here in the last 10 years.
Now, before I go any further, I just got a shout out to Pastor Jay Brennan.
Pastor
He's
Jay
in the
Brennan,
house.
yeah.
And Bar's here. Thanks for saying hi to me at NAM, Bar. Were you in one day and out the next?
He was.
Probably,
I think he was in
I
one
was
day
only
and
there for like 2 hours.
I think, yeah, he was
an hour
in,
and a half.
He was in and out the same day, if I'm not mistaken.
So also, what's up to Scott and
we'll dig into this photo booth thing here.
Howie and Jimmy. I don't know that Jimmy's here, but I'm just shouting him out because he's probably here.
Yeah, we'll dig
Anyway,
into
sorry.
that. Yeah. We'll dig into that photo booth thing here in just a little bit again, because I think there's some good discussion around that. We should definitely.
So I don't know. Like Jay said, the guy was a liar, and I think ultimately that's what it came down to. That's the part that worked. He tried all of these things, and the one thing that worked was his bullshit and his scams. The actual execution of the things that he wanted to do didn't work out. If the execution of the things he wanted to do did work out, then he would have been the guy they would have been talking about who, up to Coachella and Burning Man and did this amazing thing. But since they didn't work out, he knew the scams would work out. So he just kept scamming.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So kind of
as Forrest Gump says, that's all I got to say about that.
So as I was watching that, I couldn't help but to think of, there have been times within the DJ industry where we have had scammers. And in this case, I think that as Jay mentioned, this guy was a liar from the beginning. I think he knew he was scamming people. We've had situations within the DJ industry where we've had people who have come in and knowingly were doing something illegal to basically try to scam and get as much money out of the DJ industry as they could before they were caught. And we've seen this on a few times when it came to illegal music libraries. There was one of those produced a few years back that the crew that put that one together basically knew at some point in time things were going to hit. And there's two different music systems that went that way. So for those of you who and
more to come too.
There's more
so
to come.
tuned.
Yes, there's another one that's out. There's more than one. There's about 5 more out there that are. But when you guys are hearing us talk about some of these companies that aren't legit, and you guys are like, oh, that's not a big deal. There's not much difference between what this I can't think of his name. Billy. What Billy was doing.
Billy. They called him Billy. I don't know what his last name was.
Yeah, I knew it earlier.
Jay probably knows.
Yeah. But Billy is what he is to that industry, the finance industry in New York. We have got some of those in the DJ industry, and some of them are gone. Some of them are here and very active, and you're seeing their things today. So we're not going to go and name names tonight. We've talked about that. But
not about that.
The idea is that you got to be careful. You got to pay attention.
What I will say is this, okay, and I've been doing videos for a minute. Okay. I've seen a lot of other people do things that are, maybe helpful services for DJs in one form or another. But how can I say this? Look, when you turn on TV really late at night and a guy tells you that you can buy real estate with no money down and make a lot of money and become a millionaire in 2 years. All you got to do is buy his tapes.
Yes.
They're always tapes. Freaking cassette tapes. Who even owns a cassette player? You got to buy this guy's tapes for $29.99. You got to ask yourself this. If you're making millions of dollars in real estate, then why are you hawking tapes at 2:30 in the morning on an infomercial?
There is that
This
question.
is the question you got to ask yourself. So I've tried to be very transparent with what I do, and I've been, by the way, doing it for 12 years consistently doing it for 12 years. And I'm trying to help. I'm really trying to help. I've never asked anything from anyone. I've never asked you to give me your money. I've never asked you to buy my book or go to the GoFundMe page for me or nothing. And I've had some things where I could have done that. I had a stroke. I could have done a big telethon on that. Didn't do that. Didn't take a dime from anybody. And I don't want to, because all I want to do is help. And I'm not saying that anybody who tries to sell you something is a bad guy. All I'm saying is that you just always need to ask yourself this one question. If they're that successful, how come they have all this time to hawk tapes at 2:30 in the morning on an infomercial? Always ask yourself that. There's something going on. And I hate to be the guy to tell you there's no Santa Claus, but just watch yourself. That's all I'm saying about that.
Yeah.
Not naming any names. I'm just saying, be careful.
Yeah, there are definitely, and I'll just call it snake oil salesmen. There are a few.
There are hitmen coming to my house right now, dressed like insurance salesmen who call themselves DJs. They're on their way to my house right now. I hear them on the front porch. They're going to kill me for saying that.
Exactly. Yeah, it was the disco porch is probably rigged, so they'll have to take a little time to get through there.
Well, Bar, you're a good guy. I know you, and I'm not talking about you at all, man. You're a good dude. You're a straight shooter. Don't worry about it. On the other hand, Bar, don't let anybody take advantage of you either.
Yeah.
Don't let them do it. You've got something they want. Don't let them take from you. And you know what I'm talking about. So just be careful. There's always somebody out there looking for people are opportunistic.
Very much
generally.
so. Very much so.
And I found this, and I know I'm going way off topic here, John. I apologize.
No, this is part of kind of the discussion I wanted to have tonight. Is that
well? Here, let me just put it to you this way. We just did NAMM, right? And I won't name any names again, but there's a person in this industry who is a product and or service provider for many things that we may find interesting. All right. And I don't hear from this person unless I'm at NAMM and they want me to come to their booth and give them free publicity.
Yep.
And when I do come to the booth, they will say some pretty outrageous things about their product and make some pretty outrageous promises to me and to my viewers about their product that never materialize. I call this guy the carrot dangler. This is his name. I don't even call him by name anymore. He is the carrot dangler. If you've ever watched an old movie with a horse-drawn carriage, they'll have like this thing sticking out in front of the horse where there's a carrot, and the horse just keeps chasing the carrot forever. He's never going to get it, but that's how they make the horse go places. They dangle a carrot in front of him. He just follows the carrot. This guy's a carrot dangler.
Yep.
I don't give him my time of day anymore.
Yes.
I've wasted enough time with this carrot dangler. Not only that, but quite frankly, his products just aren't that interesting. And I don't really see a lot of value in them for any of us. So it's stupid for me to even show them on video. There's people out there like that. They want what I've got, which is my audience. Now, you guys who watch, I really value your views. I really value your loyalty and your likes and your comments, even your dislikes. I don't care. Even when you disagree with me, I appreciate that because you're watching and it's kind of helping keep the wheels turning, you know?
Yep.
So having said that, I don't want to waste your time with crap. You know? I'm very selective as to what I show you. I say no a lot more than I say yes.
Yep.
It wasn't like that in the old days. In the old days, anything that came along, you were just excited to get it and you grabbed it and you ran and you were happy and you hit it and growled at anybody who got near it. But it's not like that now. Now it's kind of cool. You can pick and choose, you know? And I don't look at stuff that's junk. Some people ask me, why don't you do videos on this, this, and this? and I have a hard time answering that question, because what I really want to say is because it's shit. Because there are better options out there. And why would I show you this garbage when I can show you the good stuff?
Yeah.
Better value, price wise, and just overall quality wise. I've got better stuff to show you than this junk you're asking me about. So, you know, I guess, you know, a little, dare I say, integrity with the stuff. But John, you know how it is.
Oh, for sure. And you mentioned that whole carrot dangling thing. This is the first year that we went to the show and basically didn't do that crap. We didn't chase the carrots. We have been doing that for the last 5+ years at this, because, you know, that always, you know, hey, yeah, come on and we'll shoot a bunch of stuff, and, you know, we'll be doing some when our budget things come around. And this year, you guys will notice, I shot 35 videos at NAMM this year. And of those 35 videos, probably 20, some of them were videos that were things I found interesting.
Right. And that's what NAMM's about. And it's got nothing to do with, for NAMM, the videos anyway. If I'm working with the company and they have something cool, that's great. But really, I'm looking at things that I think are cool. It's like, wow, this is different. This is neat. There's value in this. I don't know firsthand if the price is right. I don't know if the quality is really there. It appears to be. Otherwise, I wouldn't show it. But yeah, it's that stuff I just think is cool. It's a good idea. If anything, it's an inspired idea at any rate. So I'm with you on that. That's fun. A lot of fun.
Oh yeah, for sure. And it was a good year because of not having the stress of going and shooting all these different things. But it was also on the flip side, as I'm going through it, I almost felt like I wasn't doing my job. You know, because it's like, oh, you know, I usually, by the end of the first day, I had 75 videos in the hopper, and I have 20.
You had your kids with you too.
I had the boys with me.
Yeah.
And
I was there for 2 full days, and one day for like an hour and a half, the first day, because I got in late, and I got what I needed. I shot every video that I did on my phone. I'd never done that before. They were all one take videos. There was no editing. There were no retakes. It was one take and done. So, for instance, I mean, I went to Christian at Pioneer. Jay was busy with one of the dudes from Crystal Method on the stage setting up his set or whatever. And I'm like, all right, dude, I'm doing one take. What do we got? He's like, well, I want to look at these controllers. I said, okay, what about those headphones over there? It's like, well, we need to see those too. But they're on the other side of the trade show booth, and Pioneer's pretty big. I'm like, we're going to just walk over there with the camera rolling and do this. And that's exactly what we did. It was a one-take video. And we even got Jay setting up Crystal Method on stage. That was the first shot. He was paying no attention to me. He was very in the zone. Panda Christian saw the controllers, both of them, talked about them, walked across the booth, did the Bluetooth headphones, into the video.
And we're done. Yep.
It was fun. It was organic, and you know, I got better views on my NAMM videos this year than any other year on YouTube. The best views. So not only were they easier, not only were they more fun, but they were just so natural and well received. I'm really happy about that.
Very nice.
There are some videos that I did, mind you, okay, that I've got 6,000 views on or more, and they're like, okay, and you know, and then there's like that video of that thing that's so cool, you know, and the views are like in the low hundreds, and it's like, why are you guys skipping the cool stuff? You know, maybe it's not a name they're real familiar with. Maybe it's not a fanboy item, but it's the really cool stuff that they're skipping on some of my NAMM videos. I did 22 NAMM videos, I think. And I only repeated one company twice. And the only reason I did that is because they had 2 completely different product lines that I wanted to look at.
Sure.
And I didn't really consider the second product line until after I had shot the first product line. It was LD Systems. I wanted to go over their speakers, And then I'm talking to Johnny Dive, and he's like, "Have you seen our microphones?" And I'm like, "No." He's like, "You can check out our microphones." Like, okay, these are cool enough for a video, so I did shoot that as a separate video. But otherwise, every company just got one video.
Nice. Yeah, there were some of them I knew you were shooting through our talk. I think you had mentioned earlier. There were maybe you're talking to the other guys, and some of them you were going to hit. So there were some of the booths that I didn't even bother to go to. It's like, Brian's going to get there.
You know what? And I'll just say this right now: if you haven't seen my NAMM videos, Mike Sanchez, love him or hate him, by far the most entertaining NAMM video that I did this year. It is so funny.
From the J-Mods
Have you
video.
seen it, John?
Yeah,
have you seen it?
Yeah, when he was doing.
And you know what was great? What was great about that video? When we were done shooting it, I turned the camera off and I turned the phone off and put it down. Mike goes, "Dude, I totally sham wowed that, didn't I?" I'm like, "Yes, you did." So he knew what he was doing. It was great. It was funny. We had a lot of fun shooting that video.
That's funny. Yeah, he mentioned it in the chat room there. Oh.
It was pretty funny.
So
I'm gonna get in so much trouble for showing you this. I can't believe I'm gonna do this. I was like, oh my god, he's laying out. I think it was hilarious. And some people didn't get it. It was satire. But I thought it was pretty good.
There's humor in there.
Yeah, but informative at the same time, like a good infomercial should be.
So the feel of the show, we both have been to a number of NAMM shows.
Mm-hmm.
What was your feel on it? Let's look at exhibit numbers.
Okay.
It was down. I feel that they were down this year. I don't know if you had noticed
that was my first impression too, but I don't know that they really were down. I think that everything was so incredibly consolidated and organized this time around that you didn't see all the cross traffic you normally see. Because in the past, you've had stuff that we might be interested in, be it lighting or DJ specific gear or PA gear, and this hall. Yeah. So we're bouncing back and forth to look at stuff. This year, it wasn't like that. It was like, Hall A is oboes or whatever. I think oboe is a funny word, so I would say that.
It's like that.
Woodwinds or whatever. Hall B is all strings and violins and shit. And then Hall C is all saxophones. It has never been like that before. So I think it was Hall C or D was all the DJ and lighting stuff. Pretty much. Yeah, it was all there.
Whatever hall. Yeah, it was. They pretty much had
whatever hall that was. The one next to the arena,
one we were in.
Whatever hall Z or whatever it is. And then all of the speaker stuff were in the new building. Whatever that I call it, the new building.
Yeah.
But that's where north. All the most of the PA stuff was. LD Systems was in the main room. But everybody else, Electro Voice, RCF, FBT, Avante, Bose, you name it, and all the microphone companies too, Shure and Sennheiser and all those guys were in that new building. So it was a lot better organized, and you didn't get the cross traffic or people, trying to see pianos here and pianos there. They were all in one place.
Yeah, and they definitely did a much nicer job of that. I mean, there were still a few companies that were bounced around, like Floyd Rose was showing their headphones, but they were in the section because of having guitar connections and things such as that. But yeah, it made it much nicer. But the and I mentioned this in prior shows is as I'm going through the more instrumentation side of it, the aisles were bigger this year than they were.
Pardon?
The aisles they were much wider. And they had areas where there would be a 4 booth space that was now serving pretzels and food as we were walking around and such. That I'd never seen that before. When you had the areas of food, they were on the one end, the far end, and then you had those things that were the concession stands. But now it's like every other aisle, especially when you're down on the far end, every other aisle had a food option in it, which I'd never seen before. So
I think they did a wonderful job just kind of organizing things this year.
Yeah,
so I think that might have been part of the illusion of attendance. I don't know. I didn't see the numbers.
Yeah, and
on what it's was.
Yeah, I didn't. We weren't there. We were there just Thursday, Wednesday, but we were there Thursday and Friday, and
It was crowded on Saturday.
yeah, they had a nice crowd on Friday. It was a good crowd. It's interesting at NAMM is if you want a hotel room, you won't find a Thursday night hotel room unless you're going to spend $400 or $500. You've got to go 5 miles or more away because it's like every hotel on Thursday night is full. Anything closer.
I still have to surf, dude. I'm just so bad. I'm like this guy who and I'm too old for that crap, and I'm way too crippled for that crap, but I still do it. I just find a spot and sleep. I told NAMM is camping. It's camping. It's not a luxury experience. It's like the Fire Festival. Okay, it's just like that.
Mm-hmm.
It looks glamorous. It's not. You're in FEMA tents.
Yeah, to a point, yeah. And some of the hotels that we stayed at next to is just as good as a FEMA tent.
Bar says FaZe is the fire of the DJ industry.
Yeah, FaZe is funny. It was this thing that we saw last year, and I've got videos up on it.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was neat.
And they have been pushing. I mean, I bet I've gotten 50 to 100 emails from them. Oh, hey, here's another press release. Hey, here's another thing. They've got a media company that's been working it, and it's like, deadlines pushed back. We're going to be having it at DJ Expo. Can we schedule you for an interview? And that was with NAMM this year. I bet I had 150 different companies that had contacted us to set up an interview at the show. And that, typically there've been some, but this year it's like they were just going crazy. And I've been on their media list for a long time.
Yeah.
It was interesting because they're contacting to go and it's like, it's that same as you started out talking about that carrot thing.
And
it's like, no.
Right. And I say, I just, I don't even say no. I ignore the text.
Mm-hmm.
I got time for that crap because there are plenty of vendors out there who not only have great products, but they want to work with us.
Mm-hmm.
They want to bring stuff into the dungeon and they want to support the channel.
Yeah, exactly.
They want to do this. Those are the people I want to talk to. Why should I talk to this screwball? With all these press releases and all these, oh God. And you get these things. And the best thing I can do for these people is not do a video on their product. It's the best thing I can do for them. Because I have nothing nice to say about it.
Yeah.
No one's going to see this thing and say, oh, that's great. There's a responsibility towards so many of these companies. And I'll just say it, make something decent.
Mm-hmm.
There are so many companies that they'll like, okay, I made this brown thing for DJs. Do a video on it. It's like, what the hell is it? Oh, I don't know. Just see if DJs like it. I'm not a magician. Your shit is either cool or it's not. This is stupid. This is a dumb thing.
Mm-hmm.
No one needs it. Nobody wants it. There's nothing I can do and sleep at night to endorse this or suggest anyone needs it because it's just a dumb brown thing. There are lights like that. There are speakers like that. There are headphones like that. There are tons of things like that out there in this industry. It's just a bunch of shit. And I can't help you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a miracle worker. It's like doing a wedding. It's exactly like doing a wedding because I've done weddings before where people will come up to me afterwards and say, oh my God, you're the best DJ. It was amazing. And I'll just stop them. It's like, hold on a second. Thank you. But you know what? A lot of this has to do with your audience. You got a great crowd.
Mm-hmm.
They were responsive. They were cool. They were receptive. I'm the guy behind the curtain. You got a great family or great friends or whatever. So don't put it on me. That's what it's like with these companies. I feel the same way. Well, if you've got a great product, it's not hard for me to show it off. If you've got a dumb product, I look like a fool trying to present it.
Mm-hmm.
So don't give it to me. Don't even suggest it. Please. Don't call me.
So one of those companies, and I'm not going to mention it by name, but I went to their booth because they're not one that has ever advertised with us or supported us, but their products in the past, when we have put them on our channel, have done very well on view numbers and actually make some sense. So I went to the booth and I started playing with some of their controllers. I could not find a positive thing to say about any of the controllers. As I'm playing with it, it's like, wow, this jog wheel wobbles. That's not fun. And then I went over to the next one. It's like, wow, this crossfader feels like there's sand in it. That's not going to, because again, the video, the best thing I could do is not do the video and say, well, here's this controller from XYZ company, and this crossfader,
And it blows.
you aren't going to have to worry about that crossfader sliding over by accident because that sucker doesn't move.
Yeah, it's fused.
Yeah, it's just,
If you like playing on channel 8, this is your mixer. What are you going to say?
yeah, it becomes so difficult, or the bad ideas where someone's got this stupid ass thing. As you're saying, the brown thing that no one's going to use. And how I can't put lipstick on a pig and make it. No,
Right.
Thankfully, I don't see it as much in this industry as in the hardware industry. The hardware industry, it's like you bent a piece of wire to make that, and you expect people to pay for that? Excuse me, give me a plier and a piece of wire, and I'll make my own damn piece.
Right, right. Now, okay, there are companies, and again, not naming names here, but there are companies who make things that are not for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I can see how someone could see value in this. I'm happy to tell the world about them because somebody's going to see value in that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need it for my personal anything, but somebody out there may see this, and this might be exactly what they're looking for, and it's going to suit their needs and their skill level or whatever. So it doesn't have to be my favorite thing. It just has to be something that I think someone can see some value in.
Mm-hmm.
However, this ain't one of those things.
Mm-hmm.
That was a fun rant, huh?
And there was a few of those. There's a few of those.
You'll have that. But no, I mean, there's stuff I do. I'll do videos on things sometimes. There's no way I'll ever use this, but there's somebody out there. It's going to be great for them. I don't happen to be that person.
Yeah, I mean, one of those.
Like the people who make Honda Civics. I mean, if I was the person they relied on to buy a Honda Civic to keep Honda in business, they would be out of business a long time ago because I don't buy Honda Civics. But somebody does, and they like it. It's a good car for them.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that guy.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't fit. Your Mustang hubcaps won't fit on it, so why would you want it?
I'm not going to talk smack about a Honda. It's a good car. My daughter had one, but it ain't for me.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean that I would have a hard time saying, hey, if you're looking for a good economical car that's pretty reliable and the price is right, this is something you might want to consider. Got a good track record. I would have no problem saying that because it's true.
Mm-hmm.
But I ain't going to drive it. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it certainly does. And Chris, just for that bent piece of wire was literally this little kind of a little stand that they had made for these burnable mosquito coils, where you can just light it and it'll slowly burn its way around and give that little whatever smoke that's supposed to. Somebody bent a wire so you could just set that on top of it. It's like, isn't that what beer cans are for? Empty beer cans?
It's
Anyway.
funny because I'll have things that I'll present, and it doesn't matter what it is. It could be scrim, it could be a case, it could be anything. And there's always somebody who says, "What a ripoff! I can make that at home."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you've got that kind of skill and those kind of tools, sure you can. I can't make it at home. I don't have a plasma cutter. I mean, I'm not that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody could. If you can, here you go. Make it.
So there's one company that I want to bring up that was downstairs, and it was one of these companies that it's like, what are you thinking? They had a little rubber, kind of a little rubber nipple, for lack of a better way to describe it, a little rubber cap that you would slide over the end of your 1/4-inch cables, over your guitar cables or your mic cables. The old 1/4-inch ones we used to use, amplifier to the speaker. It was a rubber end you'd put over top of that.
And they had a booth dedicated to this.
Yes, it was the thing in their booth, and they're like, yeah, this is the greatest thing ever. It's going to protect your cables. It's like,
They need protecting?
I didn't realize that this was a big issue, because now I went from it being the size of the 1/4-inch because of this big rubber thing. Now it's about 3/4-inch in diameter, which is bigger than the barrel. And it's like, well, that's not going to get caught or hung up on anything. But yeah, this was a company down there. It's like, The
There's a reason they were in the basement, man.
again, what was going through there? What made
As seen on TV.
where they were sitting there and thinking, I got a good idea. Let's take this and make this thing, and it's going to cover the end of the cables because we know that's such a huge issue. I
Right.
completely befuddled me. And it's like, my first question, he's like, you need to do a video on this. And it's like, dude, do you realize that most of the industry is using XLRs when it's coming to running power or running to speakers nowadays? Oh, but this is good for guitar cables too. Okay, then my DJ insignia probably won't fit for you, will it?
Yeah, we're not those guys. I got a question for you though. While we're on a roll here, what was the coolest thing you saw on NAMM? Just the coolest thing you saw. You don't gotta mention a company name or nothing. What was the coolest thing you saw?
I'm actually going to mention a name. It was in that speaker in the auditorium or the arena. Michael and I get to sit down and listen to the Void speakers, which are those big red ones over on the side. The unique look and that big concert sound. I mean, they had a stacked tower, and yet it had that same feel of a line array that would have been hung and flown. That was probably audio-wise was probably the coolest thing that we heard there at the show. And then, I talked about the Denon things, what have you. But I mean, for things that were like, ooh, wow, a surprise thing. I knew the Denon was going to be there, and I knew that it was going to be. But for surprise,
At least they let you in the room, and that's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, for those of you who do not know, I would guess Bar maybe got in the room, maybe.
I didn't even try because I heard horror stories.
Yeah, most people could not get in the room, and the first two people in line were Thursday morning when they opened at 10 o'clock. At 9:55, we were in front of the door waiting, and right behind us is Phil from Digital DJ Tips. We were the first two in the room, and we were some of the few that could get in there because I don't understand what InMusic's thought are behind this. I mean, I love InMusic. I love their controllers. You're here to show your products, and you want people to see your products, and yet they have a private demonstration so they can, control the narrative on video like what we do. But how many times is somebody like Bar or these guys are walking around, and Bar shoots a video on that and Instagrams it, right? That little thing. He could have a gazillion people look at this stupid thing, and yet they're going to keep guys like that. They didn't let him in.
I'm not suggesting I got turned away.
No. Obviously, Bar.
And this is kind of like in the old days. If I saw this super hot chick from across the room and I wanted to go say hi to her, ask her out on a date, I didn't do it because I was afraid of the rejection. It's kind of the same thing with Denon because I had plenty to do. There's plenty of other girls in the room to talk to. I just didn't feel the need to cross the room just to be rejected by that one. So I didn't bother because, again, I'd heard the horror stories.
Yeah.
Really odd to go to the show and not let anyone see what you have at the show. That's weird, but whatever.
I mean,
I don't have a relationship with Denon. I don't know anybody there. So, I wasn't going to even go there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's very funny because here we've got your channel, you've got Bar and Bar. Who is the other gentleman there? The young man that you introduced me to him at DJ Expo. Bar, put that in the chat room. He was there also. I cannot remember his name. Oh, there's too many guys who are doing videos, and I just can't keep them all straight. But
if you've had him on the show before, you totally lost points.
I haven't had him on a show. I need to have him on a show because once I have him on a show, then I typically remember names and such.
That's what I thought.
Yeah,
you probably remember him then. Coolest thing I saw. I really, really, really like those JMass battery power moving heads that just turned me on. So many people in R&D told me it couldn't be done. Oh no, it can't be done because blah 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 blah. I'm not an electrical engineer or a mechanical engineer. I don't know. They did it. Now, hopefully, we'll get those in the studio for the next couple months and have a close look. But it sounds pretty cool. Mm-hmm. Something I didn't have in the video too was that it comes with an RC remote.
Oh, cool!
So you don't have to shoot, and you can master slave them because they have DMX transceivers in them. So imagine wireless, battery-powered, real remote control moving heads for us DJs who don't want to program anything. That's cool.
Very
I
cool.
think that's cool.
That was actually when Lori saw the, Jason had gotten me some early information on those a couple of weeks ahead of time. And for some reason, Lori, who very seldom pays attention to my DJ stuff, she's got her own things. She caught the information I was compiling on it. She's like, "That is a cool idea. Think about that for uplighting around the room, and you're done. And you got your control." For those of you wondering, Mojo, DJ Mojo, is who I was thinking of. I got to meet him. He's a nice young man. Nice young man. I got to meet him and saw him he was busy shooting here and bars sitting there and waving to the crowd, and they were having a good time. So
something else and Bar mentioned in the room, the Fobble. I think you call it Fobble.
Fobbles,
Froggy's Fog.
Yeah.
Fobble. I was calling it Flobble or Fleeble or something because I'm totally dyslexic and I was just excited to see it. It's a fog machine. Well, this is what the product is called. That's actually happening in the air. That's not what the machine is called. The machine is called the Andre 3000. I don't know what it's called, but anyway, it's a. What is it?
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, exactly. It's got a different name.
It's the Andre 3000. I don't know. It's some name. Anyway, it's a machine that it's LED. It's a bubble machine and a fogger, and it shoots out, and it's huge. I mean, this is like I would say production. This is like big deal.
It covered
stuff.
A big area.
This is not really a DJ thing, but it's a neat idea. It shoots out fog and big bubbles filled with fog. And it's all lit up with these lights. It was so cool. It was the first video I posted. It was a lot of fun. And Froggy's, I talked to somebody there one time, but I do buy their products. I buy them usually on Amazon. Mm-hmm. The quick disperse fog, which ADJ has it now. Some Antari or somebody has it over there. But they got that stuff for the Fog Fury jets where it like goes up and it dissipates in seconds. Yep. Which is really useful for mobile guys who are trying to avoid, smoke alarm problems. Mm-hmm. They've got the Swamp Juice, which hangs real low. It's good stuff that they produce. And I wasn't aware that they ever made any hardware like that, but they do. It's this Andre 3000. Yeah. The Fobble machine. Yeah. It's on my video. I showed the name of it and everything else, but I don't remember what the name was.
It was pretty cool.
Bar, you're right. That was cool.
Yeah. Yep. I think, how did we see your, did you put that video up right away on Thursday?
Yeah.
Because I think Michael saw it and they were like, we got to go find this tomorrow. Because then.
Yeah, it was right behind Elation or,
Eliminator. Yeah.
Eliminator.
They're right over the Eliminator.
Yeah. It just made me smile, and that's why I like NAMM this year, because I saw things that made me smile. Like, oh, that's cool. Mm-hmm. I like that. Because so many times you walk through there, it's like, oh, another hex par. Oh, another 15-inch top. Ooh, look, they have a 12-inch top too. Oh, and an 18-inch subwoofer, and a 15, and a 12. Mm-hmm. Saw some cool stuff. Learned some things. Learned some cool things this year. There's little nuggets in those videos if you watch. When I'm talking to these product guys, again, none of this was rehearsed, and they'll say something. And I'll say, stop. What does that mean? Mm-hmm. And they'll go into an explanation about it. These product specialists are so used to these terms and these phrases and these products that they I guess they maybe get a little jaded and they just assume everybody knows the stuff.
Yeah. They're thinking.
I was talking to FBT, Jamie Villari, and he was talking about the Virtus speakers. And I know Jamie for a long time. Yeah. And he said they have AB amplifiers. And next I'm like, whoa, stop. What's an AB amplifier?
Yep.
What is that? Now, I do know what it is, but I wanted him to say in the video.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's basically where you have an amplifier that puts out not only it's a biamp, it does an analog signal and a digital signal. So you can send that analog signal to the horn for that analog sound that's more rich than digital. And then the bass maybe doesn't matter as much, but you need power down there, so you send digital to that, and it just creates a warmer cabinet. But nobody knew that. I mean, maybe a lot of people knew that. What am I saying? Somebody didn't know that, and it was just car guys talking Andre 3000. I mean, they don't know what it means. Mm-hmm. So Yeah, that's the kind of stuff I was trying to do in the videos as well. A lot of times I was just doing it myself, and sometimes we we would almost get photo bombed or video bombed by a product specialist, and we didn't ask for one. If you want an example of that, watch the Bose video. We didn't want to talk to anybody there, but the German guy was very excited and told us a lot of things we didn't care about. So have a look at that video if you'd like to.
I've got a couple of those.
I just let it roll. Just go ahead and keep talking. Because one of my comment sections was like, why don't you ever do videos on Bose? Why don't you feature Bose? Like, well, I really don't have a relationship with anybody, but yeah, you know what? If I pass the Bose booth, we'll have a look at it. I know exactly what they have. It's the S1 like they had last year, and it's the L1 that they've had for 12 years. But we'll do a video on it.
Yep.
And we did. And we were doing the L1, and somebody pushed me away. Like, get out of the way. I'm like, okay. And it's in the video. So I go over to the S1, which was free. And then a guy starts talking. And I'm like, oh, crap. And he's telling me about applications for guitarists. And I just let him talk.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, the S1 Pro, that's a nice little speaker. And for those of you who are contemplating that, hold out on making that purchase on the S1 Pro until after May 1st, end of April, May 1st, because there's an issue with them, and they're going to be solving that, and that's going to be available after sometime in April.
In the meantime, just buy an LD Systems Malleify Go because it's cooler.
Yeah, you've got a little bit different.
And it's going to cost you less than two of those things.
Yeah, they're probably price-wise much different there.
Yeah.
Let's see. We got a couple of things. Jay said that 2020 is going to be a better show. I'm going to contend, Jay, and maybe in a Pioneer world, you guys will use NAMM as kind of your debut spot. But with you look at last year, Expo had quite a bit of new stuff that was shown at Expo for the first time. LDI, a lot of the lighting companies, they showed all their new stuff at LDI, even Infocom. And with the internet and such, talking to some of the companies that I deal with on a regular basis, they're like, NAMM isn't the place to show new stuff as much as it used to be, because we're with social media, and why should we compete with everyone putting out something new in January, when if I bring something out in July, I might be the only one getting the media attention. So I'm not exactly sure.
That's a good point.
So that has changed something. And there's one of the companies that's going to be introducing a new speaker this year, and they are going to a different time and a different date because of this. And they're also wanting to have us kind of launch their speaker after the success.
And they totally wouldn't happen to be Electro Voice. There's no chance in hell that it would be Electro Voice.
No, because we didn't.
I'm just saying.
Just didn't do this for the Evolve 50s, and they sold more speakers in the first whatever. So probably it's not Electro Voice.
Had nothing to do. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's that other company. Mobile Beat Las Vegas. Let's talk about that for a minute. Are you going to be able to make that one?
Yeah, let's talk about that for a minute.
Are you going to be buzzing out there for that?
Should I?
I don't know. I mean, I'm planning. I've got a suite, so I want to. I want to broadcast from the suite during the show.
My mom says, "Why are you going there? Why are you going to Mobile Beat? You did all this stuff at NAMM. This isn't a waste of your time." Like, well, I've always looked at NAMM as the show that I'm doing business at. I'm looking at new products. And I've always looked at Mobile Beat as the connection with the other, not only the other DJs, but people who watch. And that's valuable. That's very valuable to me. That's the show where I can relax a little bit, say hi to people, and listen and have some fun.
Exactly.
So yeah, I'll be there, man. I'll be there.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Michael, my 16-year-old, he's going to be with us again, because he's going to be spinning in the exhibit hall and doing some things there. So kind of excited about that. And let's see, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday night, we're going to be going live in the evenings each night from the suite, and we're going to have some snacks and things up there each night. Unfortunately, and it kind of breaks my heart, we're not going to have the tamale party this year. Morrow isn't going to be able to make it. Things didn't work out for him with some things. So we're going to miss Morrow, miss the tamale party. That's kind of a bummer. And I don't know if might have to come up with.
See if I can talk him into it.
Yeah, see what you do it. Yeah,
He was this close. He was this close trying to pull it off.
I know
We'll see.
he's been hemming and hawing. So as of right now, we unfortunately we have that won't be there, but we'll still have some snacks and a couple of beverages if you guys want to pop up there. That's going to start each night around that 6:30, 7 o'clock time frame. Because Monday night I think the exhibit hall goes until 7 o'clock if I'm not mistaken. Then Tuesday it's open, I think, until 7 again, and then there's an additional time for the demo rooms from 7 to 9.
His birthday party at Hooters on Tuesday night. I'll be there, but most of the time I'll be where I always am, holding court on the patio under an umbrella table, enjoying a coffee that hopefully someone brings me. Venti mocha frappuccino. It's a long walk to Starbucks. It's cooler if somebody brings me one.
It is.
It makes me feel kind of like a rock star. So yeah, that's where I'll be most of the time.
And that's what I'm kind of looking forward to that, sending Michael his direction. Because this kind of circles back to the early part of it, I'll be shooting a little bit in the exhibit hall. The biggest thing we'll be doing during the day is Mike Walter kicks things off at noon on Monday. And for those of you who aren't there, we're going to start going live at he goes on at 12:45. We're going to go live at 12:15 Monday. And from 12:15, I'm going to go live. And what I'm going to be doing is just interviewing some of the people there, so you guys get an idea of who's there, what's going on, what they're excited about for the week as they've been able to walk around and talk to a few people, because there's a Sunday night open party. Monday there'll be a couple of sessions going on, people getting their passes, and they'll walk past the exhibit hall and the demo rooms and such. So there'll be a buzz, and we're going to be bringing you that buzz the Monday of Mobile Beat, starting at. We'll start at noon. We're going to be starting noon Pacific, so 10 o'clock Central, 2 o'clock Central, 3 o'clock East Coast.
I just had an idea. And I'm okay. See, I get ideas a lot, and I never would for one moment suggest they're all good ideas.
Those are the best ideas. The bad ideas when we're trying to sell them to make them sound like good ideas.
Okay. Now let's talk about DJ Aleem said, Tamale Party is the best part of Mobile Beat Las Vegas.
Yep.
And Aleem's never been there, but I know Aleem watches the videos, and we've shot some really fun videos at the Tamale Party. So I'm going to put you on the spot, John.
Mm-hmm.
The spirit of the Tamale Party isn't the tamales. It's inviting friends that maybe you don't know, whatever. It doesn't have to be a big space. It can be a small space. Inviting them to have a bite, and that's it. And maybe a drink and a laugh. And
that's what we're going to do. Yep.
We can do that without tamales.
True.
It would be funny. It would be very funny, and it would be very easy to do, I think. What if we did hot dogs or bratwurst and called it a sausage party?
Oh, goodness. You did go there,
that would be funny. Dude, it would be funny. Come to this, and it would be honest, because who are we going to have there? Rachel, maybe, Rachel. Let's just call it what it is, the sausage party, where all the dudes come and hang out and have a laugh. I think it'd be hilarious. We could do hot dogs, bratwurst, whatever. It'd be very easy to prepare, just some buns and some sausages for the sausage party. It'd be the same spirit of the tamale party. I think it'd be funny. Like I said, no, all my ideas are good ideas, but it's an idea. Now you got a whole chat room full of people, and if you like the idea of the sausage party this year, let John know in the comment section right now. Thumbs up, whatever you got to do. Let him know, because I think it's a brilliant idea.
We could do this. This actually would
sausage party.
This would actually be a heck of a lot easier than my other plan, which was going to be to have pizza catered in one night and to have in and out.
You're talking about snacks, and I'm like, sausage party, dude. Hot dogs, bratwurst, dumb stuff like that. You just put them in like a crock pot or whatever. I don't know.
Okay, so we can get T-shirts made.
Bunch of wieners.
Sausage
delivered.
Party, the 2019 sausage party, and then we'll get a second T-shirt made for the ladies who happen to come that says they are the queen of the sausage party.
Yes. We could even have T-shirts made. I was at the sausage party. And call it what it is. Honesty and advertising, man. Come on.
Honestly.
Let's just do this thing.
What about, will there be alcohol?
Yeah, why not? Sure.
Yeah, they're probably.
You always have it anyway, don't you?
Yeah, we've had it every year.
I don't drink, so I don't know.
Yeah, we've had.
I mean,
we've
not
had
anymore.
soda, water, and different sodas. We've had water, and then we've had a couple of times where we've had bartenders in our suites. This will be open to everyone, and we're going to, once we have the suite on Saturday, we'll hand out.
She wouldn't wear a sausage party shirt. I would totally wear it with pride. Wear a hat.
Yeah, we'll have to get
Wear a
Jimmy.
red hat.
We'll have to get Jimmy making something a sausage party hat and run it up the flagpole and see.
Have a red hat with white letters that say "Sausage Party made you look." It'd be funny.
Oh man,
Wear them all over Vegas.
we're gonna get so thrown out of town.
That's okay. That's why you go in the
That's why
first
you go.
place. You don't do this crap at home. You do in Vegas.
Yeah, there's generally Day mentions, of course, bring your own bottle. We've just had the soda and water, and then we've had a couple of just common beers for the.
They never have espresso. The thing I want, they never have
it. No, we've had not.
Bring my own.
You have to bring your own Starbucks up, and although this time I actually am drinking. I'm a coffee drinker now. The last time I did one of these, I wasn't a coffee drinker because they sucked. But I found some things I like. Yes, John is nervous about this. I really am.
That's
Yes.
what happened.
What's that?
What?
Scott Carroll. John
Who's
is
nervous about?
John is nervous about this. Yeah.